What's up, guys? AllDayVape here. Today we're going to be talking about the IPV3 Li 165 watt box mod. I've been using the IPV3 Li for about 3 weeks or so now, and I wanted to get some good use out of it before I put my review up. I know there's lots of other reviews, and people get the samples and stuff. This is real use, real user. I don't, get stuff for free to review. I mean, I buy everything that I use. I've only been vaping for a few months, so if you're kind of new like me and you're not looking to spend hundreds or even thousands of dollars buying all different kinds of mods and stuff, then I encourage you to check out this review along with others that are going to discuss this device. If you're looking to make a step up from a single 18650 mods, 40, 50, 60 watts, stuff like that, Kanger Subbox Mini is really popular right now. So this is kind of the next step in my mind, and it's less than $100. It does temperature control. You can build pretty low Canthal builds on here, and it's got a lot of power because you can upgrade this thing to 200 watts if you vape really high wattage like that. I personally don't. I don't ever really go above about 70 watts. So for about $90, this is a very good investment in my mind. So let's take a close-up look at it, and we'll talk about some of the specifications and what it is and what it isn't. Okay, so here we are on the up close and personal with the IPV3. I really like this mod. There's only a couple of cons, which we'll get to more towards the end here. Pretty sizable device. It's 2¼ inches across, and it's about 4 inches high, and it's 7/8 deep. The body is made of billet aluminum, and although it looks smooth, it's actually, you don't have any issues like holding on to it. It doesn't feel slick or slippery in your hands at all. Standard 510 connector. I can't remember if the 510 is spring-loaded or not, so it's safe to use drippers, tanks, whatever on here. It's a touch sensor, so once you fire it in the normal mode with your fire button here, you could use this to fire it again. I turned it off. I'm not sure what the point of that is. It's kind of awkward, like if you're holding it, I guess maybe, and you wanted to do like this and take a rip that way, but I mean, your finger is accessible on the fire button just as easily as it is on that touchpad. To me, it just seems like it's something that would get in the way and cause problems if you're trying to do a build or something and you hit that on accident maybe, then you might fire your coils or something. A standard 3-button layout, as I said a second ago. Here's your fire button, your display, and then these are your up and down select buttons. The battery door, I get no rattle from the battery door. Nice. Well, I mean, I say that. If you tap on it, you get something, but it doesn't move. I mean, you physically have to slide it off to move it. It doesn't just drop out on its own. The battery tray is actually part of this whole housing right here, which is nice. I mean, it's not a separately made tray. It's got just these 2 pads right here, and then the one on this side that hold it in place, and this little magnet, but that's it. I'm not going to open these screws up and see what's inside on the board or anything. Batteries obviously pop out with this. One of the cons that I have found, the contacts in here, it's pretty tight, but what it has done on a couple of my batteries is it's actually torn the corner of the wrap. Not a huge deal. You got to be careful putting it in, so just be careful when you're loading your batteries up in here. If you just slam them in there, then it's going to tear up the corner of your wrap. Mine aren't damaged so much that it's an issue where I need to rewrap them or anything. If that does happen to you, the rewraps are a couple of bucks. Basically just a piece of heat shrink. So this is a series circuit. So your batteries go negative and positive, which is very plainly marked here. And then you slide your door back on and you're ready to go. The display is just shy of 1 inch. Now these come with a little piece of clear wrapping, kind of like when you get an appliance or something that has that plastic stuff on there that you peel off. Some reviewers I've seen, when they pull that off, it pulls the display out of the mod. So just be very careful. You just scratch a little piece of it and then just peel it away from the glass along the device. Don't pull it up, just pull it along. And then same thing on the other side. On the IPV logo, you'll just pull that off, and you'll want to pull it along the device again, not up. This one I don't think has any issues coming out, but it's just good practice. The bottom, you've got your holes for your battery vent, and then this is your micro USB port, which is only used for updating the firmware. If you want to upgrade to the 200 watt firmware, you cannot charge this device through this port, so do not try to do that. It'll take atomizers down to 0.1 ohms and up to 3, so you can use a variety of builds on there. Temperature control mode, you can also run it from 212 up to 572 degrees, so you've got a very big span depending on how hot or cool you like your vape. And you can run your nickel builds all the way down to 0.05 ohms. So 0.05 to 0.3 is the range you would want to stay into. You're talking about your input current. Now, the input current is 1.3 to 40 amps. I've actually been doing some research on batteries and what's the best type of batteries for specific builds and mods. And these batteries that you see out there, like eFan, I know has some that say 40 amp, continuous discharge, 60 amp pulse. It's actually been proven wrong that there is no battery that will run continuously at 40 amps. So if you've got a ridiculously low build and you're trying to crank huge amperages through, like I have MXJO batteries in here, that is not good. You can actually check out another guy's channel, Pegasus Vapor Academy. He's got a good series on batteries where he's actually put them on some machines and done testing on them. Very, very informative. I highly recommend check out all 9 of the videos he's done. You will be a much more informed buyer. It does have reverse polarity protection inside and also low voltage protection, low resistance, overheat, and short circuit. So all in all, if you just throw a couple of batteries in here, you are not going to run them down to a dangerous level. I've actually run mine down to the point where it'll just cut off and it'll say check battery here on the display. So it's pretty much dummy proof as long as you're not putting nickel builds on in power mode or Canthal in temperature mode. You're not going to have any issues. If you put the batteries in the wrong way, it does have that protection, so it's just going to, I assume it's going to put something on the display. I've not had that problem. Like I said, it's very well marked inside there. So for your power mode, 5 clicks to get the device to turn on. Now your display, it's going to show your watts, volts, and ohms. You can't see it, but this bottom little square right here, there's actually 5 presets. So you can see it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is 5 on mine. And to adjust these, you just use the bottom button to start the adjustment, and then you make it whatever you want, and then you confirm it with your fire button. So I usually vape it at 45 watts. For power mode, that's really it. To get back into the main menu, just hit 5 clicks. We'll get you to the main menu. So it's just going to tell you this is where it comes up, right? So if you want to turn it off, you would just push one of these buttons to go to the next menu, hit your fire button. We are going to go to temperature control mode for the next menu display. So we're going to hit yes. We're in Fahrenheit and 435. And you can select either titanium or nickel coils. I have nickel coils in my tank, so we're going to go with those. And then we just want to exit. Now these settings are from the last temperature control tank that I had on here. Like right now, if we hold both of these buttons down, it's going to set the resistance, right? So it says 0.293. So that would actually fire right here, which I'm not going to do. But when I put the other tank on, I'll show you that it should change the display. For your temperature control mode, like I just said, you can see it says 0.29 ohms. Now this has a 0.15 ohm coil in there. So whenever you put a new atomizer on there, you always want to hold down these 2 buttons and change the resistance. So you see here it's 0.165 in my case. There we go, then it's changed. And that's it, then you're ready to vape it in temperature control mode. Adjustments are just the same. So if you want to change the joules, the adjustment is going to be just like it was for the wattage in power mode. You just hit the down button, and then you can go up or down as you see fit. It does have the 5 presets, just like the power mode does. So if you want to change the temperature, you've actually got to go into the temperature menu. So you just go into where it says temp, you would just adjust it from there. And then exit, and you're ready to go. So let's go ahead and head back out. We'll talk about some of the cons, and I'll tell you where you guys can get this for 90 bucks. So let's talk about some pros and cons of the device, and we'll wrap this up. Pros, definitely the price for me is a huge pro. Now I actually paid about $115 for this device at a local vape shop, but you can get them online for $87.99. and you can get that at Sub-Ohm Vapors. I'll have a link in the bottom. $87.99, you can pick up this mod, which I think is very reasonable for all the features that you're going to get out of this thing. I said size, weight, not good for travel. I took this out to the golf course with me today, and obviously you're not going to walk around with this thing in your pocket or anything like that. So you need to be somewhere where you can set it down or put it away, not carrying it on your person. You're definitely going to probably want a single 18650 mod for going out. If you've got a tank you can throw on it, it's fine for driving around. You like to vape in the car. I love vaping in the car, so sometimes I'll take it and just chuck huge clouds in my car, and everybody's looking at you like you're all crazy. So those are definitely, I think, the pros. The device is pretty much dummy proof, which is good for newer vapors if you're not really sure, am I doing something wrong? This has a lot of fail safes in it so that you're not going to vent a battery and be the next guy that's on the news that did something, put the wrong type of atomizer or tank on here. So very safe device, safe in relative terms to be vaping on. Now, as far as the cons, I only really have a couple. Again, the battery taken off the wrap. The 510 connector on this is not completely flush. So you see on this side, your tank is pretty much on the center of that little beveled edge, right? And then when I turn it around, see how it's more up on the black colored part? See how that kind of hangs over the edge just a little bit? And then on this side, no hang, right? So it's a little bit off center. Not a huge deal, but it is something that I noticed. And also, I would prefer something, I like the 510 connectors that have the little raised area on them. You can see here in the angle of the light that you do kind of get that ring from connecting your stuff on there. And also, when I use a dripper on this, the vapor from the dripper does go underneath, and that kind of worries me that it's getting around that connector. I don't know if liquid getting in there, probably not a good idea, right? Electronics, power, and then liquid. Not a good idea. So that's the only thing that worries me. I'm always taking off my dripper and I'm wiping all around here because you get that condensation from the vapor or whatever. Those are the only cons really of the device. So like I said, for the investment you're going to make in this, you need batteries. So for around $100, you've got a temperature controlled device, a regular power mode device, and something that is going to pretty much stay with you. I probably would keep this in my arsenal of mods as I get more, and I'll always have this to use. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you found it informative. If you liked it, please be sure to click that like button down below and subscribe for more. Thanks.